guys, people. Hope everyone's doing good. I ain't even going to waste a single second on this. Let's get straight into it. An absolute training ground attack versus defence win against Plymouth. I was extremely shocked. I can't lie. I'll get into that as we go into the video about how they played and how it just genuinely confused me from my experience, from what I've seen. But yeah, I'm not even going to do the goalkeeper because honestly, I'm not a goalkeeper. And in games like this where there's not a lot to talk about in terms of the goalkeeper, I just feel like there's absolutely 0 point. So I'm just not going to do it. Start centre backs. And again, I feel like we're in a situation where what really did they have to do? But when you think about it, they did. A lot of the time, Plymouth played into us back there. Whenever they did, they won it. They won the ball quick. They intercepted passes. Rodon made 1 or 2 recovery tackles when he had to. I think they did get beat once in that situation where Plymouth actually broke our lines. And I think it was 3v1 and somehow we got back in shape. So maybe that's why I'm getting it higher, and also the fact that they weren't massively involved in the game. So you can't give them a super high rating if it's obviously not a test for the player, right? It's not testing their ability. Everything they had to do in terms of clearing the ball, winning them second balls, recovery for each other, just basic positional play, dealing with the striker. Very, very impressed with them both, which I've been for literally all season. Especially Pascal Struijk, who's just been ultra consistent since game week 1. Ultra consistent. He is turned into an unbelievable centre-back. He just looks a bit fitter and calmer. Them two things this season. Really calm. I think that's, I think you need someone next to him like Rodon who's a bit more erratic. I think that kind of works as a dynamic. It's just a calming presence. And he just seems to be really happy with the football he's played and really sure of himself and the player he is. Really found the player he is. Remember a few years ago where he played left back and he kind of lost his identity, I think, a bit as to what he was. I feel like he's now suited and he understands exactly what he is. He's a centre back. He knows his position, he knows his role, and he just looks really assured. And Rodon's class in it. Let's be honest, he's brilliant. I wish they could both head from corners though. Attacking, that would be great. But yeah, 7.5 to these two guys. The fullbacks. This was tough because again, I do think in terms of how we attacked, I just think Byram had more of the final product, better final product. I think it helped with Dan James there, who is naturally just a forward runner, who will always be an option and always give you somewhere to give the ball, whether that's to feet or in behind. Whereas obviously with Nanto on the left, it's a bit more inverted, so it's harder to find him in certain situations. The only reason I didn't go higher with Fairport, I just think 2 or 3 times his cross wasn't great. I think he didn't pick the right areas, he hit the first man a few times, and that's literally it. But in the margins of the game, a player who you expect to find crosses better, which he has done for this season and last season at Leeds United very well. I don't think there were great cross selection in this game, to be honest. But yeah, look, he's still excellent. He's still absolutely class, and it's very, very good to have him back. Very, very good. And then Sam Byram, a player that is so terrible. How dare he be right-footed and play left back? How dare he be born right-footed? He should have learned how to use his left. Like I said, I'm just not willing to criticise a player because of he cut inside and he didn't attack down the outside when he's right-footed. That's the decision the manager should make, not the player. The player plays in that position. I'm not going to criticise him for not being that footed. I think that's ridiculous. Criticise him for being beat. I'll criticise him for making decisions. But in the situation he's been thrown into, he's done it again. He was excellent. I just realised it says Jaden Bogle above his head. I've not changed it from last week. That is obviously Sam Byram. And he deserves his credit. I apologise, Sam Byram, for keeping Bogle above your head. That is your position. You were brilliant against Plymouth. Very good. But yeah, Sam Byram's excellent on that right. Really involved in the attack, kept the game flowing, moved the ball quickly, made good decisions, put some decent crosses into the box again like he did last week. Should have had assists last game, should have had assists this game. ticking over very nicely. They're both fullbacks. The midfielders. I mean, yeah. What do you want me to say? What I will say is, I'll be honest, it's some of this stuff is a bit long. It seems to be every week. When one player does well, that doesn't have to be a criticism of another player. There is times in games this season with these two where in my brain, as soon as I've seen the structure of the game, just my personal opinion, I thought we miss Ampadu in here. Watford game, especially, I thought we did. We're finding spaces beyond these two because they don't always track the runners when there's space. When we're a bit deeper, and it's all the games in front of them, they're very good. But when the game is stretched and it's a bit more end-to-end, and teams play to find spaces between and behind these two, they struggle defensively to track them every time. Or read in their mind, naturally in their mind, more attacking players, more on the ball focus. They struggle every now and again to understand where that guy's going to move defensively. Whereas Ampadu, or even if he wasn't in the greatest form at the start of the season, that defensive side of it, that reading of the game, let's not rewrite history. His defensive reading of the game is unbelievable. And we miss that at times. We do. We miss them breakups at times. But what we're doing now, we're dominating the game so much. And we are on the front, we are maintaining the ball. When we do lose it, we're always in a position to win it quickly. And that's really good. And these two, like I said, play with this. They read the game so well. Positionally, they're excellent. As a general term, they're excellent positionally. And there will be games where they'll struggle off the ball in certain situations. Not all of them, not every defensive situation, just certain ones where the game's more stretched. Chekshavaji, or whatever his name is, I apologise to Georgian from Watford, found spaces behind them. You know, Joe Bellingham found some spaces behind them. There's little games where that will happen. And that's just because people like to rewrite history and all this stuff. Ampadu will be missed in this team at times. That's all I'm saying. But these two are unbelievable. Again, this partnership is blossoming, and Rothwell needs credit because everyone's talking about Tanaka, and rightfully so, because he's absolutely unbelievable. Joe Rothwell's been just up with him. He's been up there with him. I think either game, you could probably say this guy edged it or this guy edged it. As a whole, in the last few weeks playing together, I think you come out very much on par, I'll be honest. I do think Tanaka's got more longevity in terms of the full 90. I think Rothwell goes a little quiet near the ends. That's why he gets brought off. So maybe that slightly edges it for Tanaka. But in terms of the roles and what they do, on the ball, off the ball in most situations, not all, but most, they are unbelievable. And look, Rothwell doesn't get the credit. Is it because he's on loan? I have no idea. But he deserves full credit for everything he's doing. Because he's doing everything Tanaka's doing. They're doing their roles perfectly. And again, we're talking about the players they are. I'm not going to criticise them for doing things that they are not players in. Like I said, it's like criticising a player for not being quick when he's never been quick. There'll be situations where they will lose their tracker. They will. And it'll be reactionary, not proactive in certain situations off the ball. That will happen. But they are a core part of how dominant we are on it. And actually a core part of how quickly we win that ball back centrally when we lose it. They are vital. They win it back so can they read exactly where that ball's going to be. It's an absolute joy watching both of them. When we brought Joe Rothwell in, I remember doing a video and people were telling me this, that. Is not what you think. This is a Southampton fan. He was rubbish for us. People, this is why I don't judge players on what other fans say because that's their experience at their club. This is our club. It's a fresh slate. Watch your footage yourself. And if you can't find any footage, wait till you see them. Don't judge what other fans say. Because their experience will be based on whether they was good for them. And we don't know the situation. We don't know if they like them. Wait till you watch them. Doesn't matter what league Tanaka played in. Tried to tell people this. Don't league watch. That don't matter. That means nothing. That means absolutely nothing. Trust me. I mean, look at some of Brighton's players and look what league they brought them from. You look at the profile of the player, you look at that player, and in your mind you go, there's something about him. Now we're looking at a player that's probably too good for the Championship. Having played in Bundesliga too, which I was told means he's not good. Yeah. Make your own judgment when you watch them. Don't prejudge them if you've not seen anything. You know, like Ramazani. I didn't see much of Ramazani at all. So I waited to watch him. Oh my God. That's all I'd say. These two, exceptional as usual. They are the driving force of our team. The speed in which they move the ball, and when they get it, they're just like, they can run with it. You know, they're just force passes forward, and I love it. They absolutely fire it into Aronson and go, here you go, you've got it now. Whether you wanted it or not, you've got it. And we will go forward, we will attack. We will give you that ball, so you better be ready. And if it goes sideways, they're going to each other. I don't want it to go sideways again. Right, who wants it? Who wants it up there? I love that. I love that mentality. I absolutely love it. And they are the key for us. Them two have been really good. Rothwell deserves just as much credit as Ardsnacker does, because he's been spot on. Oh, that was proper spot on. That's proper Yorkshire. That. Spot on, mate. Yeah, he has been. He's been spot on though. They both have. What a joy! What a joy! That's all I'm gonna say. No, Wilfred Nonto. We'll talk about Dan James in just a minute. Nonto, I'm not gonna spend it too much. Might be harsh. This guy's set a standard. You know what you got to realise about Nonto, right? And I will say this, and he's 20 years old. People are comparing to Somerville. Check what Somerville was doing at 1920. Right. Somerville's what, 23 now? He's got 3 years on him to develop. You know? I'll tell you what Somerville was doing. He was in and out of the bench in the Premier League at that age. Playing for the 21s. Not always expected to be our main player in the Championship to get us back to the Premier League at 20. He's so young still, and maybe I'm a bit harsh on him at times. Again, like I said, I'm sorry. I'm horrible to wingers because I was one and I was horrible. Wingers need humbling because it's never their fault, trust me. It's never a winger's fault. So I'm going to humble them. And I like to do it. If I have an opportunity to humble a winger, I'll also back them though. I'll also back them more than anyone else. When they get criticised, I'll back them. I don't know, it's like children, you know what I mean? I'll criticise them, but when anyone else criticises a winger, if you're not a winger, don't you criticise wingers? No, I'll back them. Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard position. It just is. But yeah, it weren't great. No. In terms of, let me clarify, in terms of, again, just that final decision. He's moving, everything he's doing in terms of his temperament, the way he's playing, he's absolutely fine. His movement's good. He's getting on the ball. He's been brave. He's driving with it. I'm just looking for that real sharpness, that shot. You know, that final pass, that final decision. I think he got back pocketed for 10-15 minutes in that game as well by Bartley Mumba, who's a good player, by the way. Good player. I think he was on some of the scout reports. He's a good player. Very good player, actually. But, yeah, he had a tough game. That's all I'm going to say. He had a tough game. He'll be back. He'll be better. And we need him to be as well. But he's so young. And I do forget that at times. He's 20. I couldn't believe it. He's 20 years old. But yeah, 6. Nothing. He will expect more of himself. That's all I'll say. But yeah, Dan James. Genuinely, right? The criticism this guy gets when he has one bad game, it's suddenly everyone's willing to just absolutely get rid of him completely because he's had one bad game. Happens every time he has a bad game. It's really odd. I get he doesn't look the most aesthetically pleasing player in the world. But who cares when you're as quick as him and you do things like that goal? Genuinely, right, I was watching that goal and I messaged my mate and I went, that is literally the most Dan James thing. because he scored from about 25 yards out, top bins, right in the top corner, with kind of the top of his toe. What other player in our team can do that? What other player can do a 25-yard scream into the top corner and make it look so strange? I love it. Genuinely, I honestly, even Snacker, that is my favourite players. I love Dan James. Not even that, like, just his entire temperament and attitude is just absolutely top notch. Genuinely top notch. The guy just does everything right. He doesn't complain or moan. He gets on with it. When he's having difficult moments, he's brave. He doesn't hide. You know, look at the scar on his head. He was in an interview after the game, and look at his scar, man. Do you know what I mean? Just, yeah, Dan James is so underrated. So he's not even got a song. We need to give this guy a song. He's such an underrated player, and he's so quick that if you play him right in any system, that's a danger. Even if the product might not be there at the top level or whatever, someone that quick is always dangerous. I'm seeing him take his guy on. I'm seeing him try a few tricks today. And I'm seeing him hit one in the top corner with the top end of his toe. Crazy stuff. What a player. He was my man of the match. Him or one of the midfielders. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely adore watching Dan James play football. I think it's a joy to watch. He's just unbelievably quick and just makes crazy decisions that are just so good. Genuinely makes me happy watching him. No more glazing. Anyway, Joe Pro. Now this might seem harsh for Joe Pro. I want to get into some of the things, so I'm not going to say on it too long. Like I said, anywhere above kind of a 5.56, he's good. Like, he played good. I don't think he's better than that. Good finish as well, on the spot. I liked his build-up play in another goal as well. He was there. He was a bit more of a presence today, and I like that. I like that Joe Pro. There was still a few times where he lost the ball, and that's the problem for me. He loses the ball in easy positions sometimes, which does make me tend that score down, because they're not like he's losing it in hard scenarios. It's quite easy ones where he shouldn't lose it. But the guy's scoring again. Another one that's underrated because he scores goals. His goals per game this season, I believe he's the best in this team, and it's not even close, I'm fairly sure. Don't underappreciate a goal scorer, people. Every team in the world wants a player that can score goals like that with one chance. Every team in the world wants that. And we have a guy who does it. He's not perfect. He isn't. Doesn't even really, at certain times when we need to stretch teams, he's not the perfect thing. His touch isn't on it. He loses the ball a bit. He makes wrong decisions. He can be quite cumbersome and slow. But the guy's a finisher. He scores goals. Everyone in the world wants one of them, and we've got one. So let's not be too harsh on him. He does what he does. Might not be pretty, but he does it. And Aronson, 7. I thought, again, another one that gets overly criticised for me. No reason. Probably more reason than the others, because, yeah, right, in fairness, no, he does frustrate in decisions on the ball, driving. But today I thought they were much better. I remember saying at the start of the week, he's got a full week now, and how that will change it, because, trust me, preparing for a game with one training session or two, as opposed to 3 or 4, with a recovery session in there, with a tactical session in there, with analysis in there, with a game scenario, game situation session in there, helped so much with clarity going into a game. So, God, I remember when we used to have training on Mondays. It was so tough at uni, because obviously lectures, you'd have training Mondays, training Tuesdays. Tuesday morning, you get 5-6 people. So everything had to be done in a Monday, and everything was just so rushed going into the game on Wednesday, because you get 5 on a Tuesday because of lectures and stuff. And you're like, what are we meant to do with this? So having a full week where you can prepare, everything's nice, set out, the recovery process is proper, the analysis is proper, is bliss, and people play better. And you saw that today with the clarity of the players. How can I go on without not speaking about these two? Genuinely, this was the best moment in the game. And this is why, I'm not even joking here, right? I've been bored at times this season. I spoke about it in these videos. I have, but I actually wasn't. I weren't bored. I was honestly enjoying it because we were 3-0 up, and I know we'd slowed down a bit, but it wasn't to detriment of them getting back into it. Like, they were still bad. They still didn't get into the game at all. So I was just so comfortable. I was just kind of watching our players and just waiting for one of them to, waiting for like a Tanaka goal or something like that. Do you know what I mean? I was just waiting for something. So I was actually all right. I weren't like getting annoyed or anything. I thought it was fine. I was all right watching it. I felt so comfortable watching that game. And then it goes on, and then you see this happen, and these two young lads come on, and it just makes, seeing academy players is just, it's the best thing. The best thing in the day was seeing these two guys come on. Charlie Crew as well came on and almost scored a brilliant goal, the confidence to have a shot. Sam Chambers looked lively, took his man on once or twice. He got in behind, could have had an assist. Good to see. When you're in a situation where in the 70th minute you can bring these two guys on, that's when you know you've absolutely demolished the side. This is the first time this season I think we've really felt this comfortable at the end of a game with 20 minutes to go to bring these guys on. It's great to see. It's great for them. It's great for the club. A class moment for them too. But and they were decent as well. They're actually all right when they came on. They did some good stuff. Genuinely so happy to see it. But Plymouth just bamboozled me. Genuinely. I understand. Trust me. I told you this before. I've been part of teams where you're in a low block, and I love it. I do. And a good low block with a proper threat on the counter is brilliant. They didn't have any counter threat. They had none. It baffled my mind, the setup. They're wasting time in about a minute and a half. Genuinely. Baffled my mind. Stick to your principles. Stick to what you know. Plymouth don't play like that. I don't know why they did. I don't know. It was a weird one, but shout out to these two. Bright futures. What Sam Chambers midweek, actually, and Crew for the 21s. And Chambers had some moments in that game where you go, yeah, but there's a spark in there somewhere. He's better centrally for me, and obviously the more he plays, that'll become more apparent when he gets older. The play where he's put now, simple as that. But watch out for that guy, and Charlie Crew is excellent again. Final one I'll speak about. Before I speak about this guy, actually, I want to mention Solomon as well. Again, I'm still seeing people say he wasn't good. He's a bit, first 2 or 3 decisions were off. After that, he gained confidence. I think he found a little bit in that game. He found a bit of confidence, because the more he touched the ball, the more he looked better. Suddenly he's beaten the guy down the outside 2 or 3 times. He's been fouled 2 or 3 times in the space of 15 minutes. He's beaten his man 2 or 3 times, and he's been fouled in attacking situations 2 or 3 times. One of them, by the way, where he chips it over the top of his head. Great bit of skill. If Rutter did that, we'd all be going crazy. He's growing into it. I need to see him shoot more, though, because he's got that in the locker. He's got that in there. But he looked sharper, did Solomon. He looked a lot sharper. But anyway, Joshua Gulavogi, it was just a great moment. Again, seeing him come on, it's like a spider, innit? His legs are just so long. And he's he was brilliant. Did his thing, didn't he? Came on, shut the game up, showed a few long ball moments, few driving moments, breaking the lines. One where he got the ball, I think he lost it, won it back, lost it, won it back again. Fine. And then he put a big tackle in, the crowd loved it. Yeah, he just brought the vibes up. It just felt good when he came on. Do you know what I mean? Relaxed in his possession. He's not as easy on the eye as like a Tanaka or Otho, but he does his job well, and he reads the game so well. Yeah, good to see him. Good moments, and that's it. People, let me know what you guys think. Going into Millwall away. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you for the support. Legends, and those guys who literally watch my video every week and call me say I'm looking for attention or I work for the club. Thanks for watching. Please keep watching. If you don't like me, don't watch. Why do you? I mean, please do, because honestly, keep chatting, I don't care. It's great it's genuinely great to watch. There's conspiracies that some people come up with that you work for the club or all this jibber jabber. It's actually hilarious, but bless you all. Honestly, enjoy your evenings, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day or whatever it is, whatever time you watch this. See you guys in a bit. Bye bye.